Is that balance okay? I feel like I hear.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's
just
all right.
yelling out of myself, so I
No,
feel.
no, you don't. No, it's good.
Okay.
Jen, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
Because you're so low. It's good.
Okay.
I know it feels loud.
Yeah, it
but
does.
it's not.
It feels like so much of me.
It's not. It's fine.
Unlike some people, I don't like to.
We can go on the Tracy Chapman song.
We're not. She's not.
It's
She's
just
doing
me.
it.
Oh, just you.
It's just her.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I hope people will
I
sing.
love Tracy Chapman.
Oh, yeah.
Get a fast car.
Oh my gosh, I keep on driving. Yep. Okay. All right, be great. I love it.
I almost wore my black belt with this.
Well, you should have, except I should not have worn my white compression socks because I look dorky, but you know.
If you went to a country bar
This is
dressed
middle
like
age.
that, they
I
would
know.
attack you.
I mean, positive.
Well, those are cute
These
though.
are wool compression socks.
Where are they from? Are they Pacas?
No, they're Javi. Javie. And they are the best.
Oh, those
ones.
look great.
They are the best.
Yeah, I have a lot of different brands because you know I got this arthritis. But
Yeah, I know. This is the first ones that I found. They don't pinch up you.
gosh, it's awful on this leg. Oh, that okay, chubby.
And they try it.
Don't you know they're talking about a revolution? It sounds like a whisper while they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of the armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Poor people gonna rise up and get their share. Poor people gonna rise up and take what's theirs. Don't you know you gotta run, 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 run. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Finally the tables are starting to turn. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution. Talking about a revolution. I've been standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of the armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know they're talking about a revolution? It sounds like a whisper. Finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution. Finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution. Talking about a revolution. Don't you know they're talking about a revolution? It sounds like a whisper.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Arlington. We are a people of many backgrounds, sexual orientations, races, genders, disabilities, and abilities, both seen and unseen. At UUCA, we encourage people to come for community, find inspiration, and live with purpose together. My name is Jim Finley, and I'm a grateful member of the Board of Trustees. Today is Sunday, February 18, and whether this is your first time worshiping with us or your regular Sunday routine, we're glad you're here. We're here at UUCA as a highly active and engaged community, so I encourage each of you to go to our newsletter for all the latest news and activities in our church. Today, I would like to highlight and invite everyone to attend our upcoming Chalice Theater production of Seussical the Musical. It opens on March 1st. Tickets are available on the church website or today after service in the fellowship hall. If you have some interest or experience in being part of this production, please also see us at the ticket table, as we still have vacancies for volunteers on production nights. Now I'd like to invite everyone to rise and greet one another and encourage you to find someone you haven't met before to meet this morning. We do have board members here scattered around, so I'll see if I can find someone who feels comfortable jumping in.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here with you all. My name is Kara Fortner. I am a seminarian. I am in my last semester at Wesley Theological Seminary in this city. Yeah? Thank you. It's been a wonderful and long road, and I'm glad to be here with you all this morning. This is my first time to be in a worship space at Arlington, so I'm really grateful to be here and to experience a new pulpit and new people, and to do this work that I cherish so much. I'm sorry? Don't make it my last. We'll see if you say that at the end. I'll double check, okay? But I just want to say thank you. Thank you for this community, for being here, for Reverend CTC, as I've heard is what she likes to be referred to, for setting me up and bringing me in. I'm grateful for Jen and for Cameron and for Burke coming in at the last minute and helping us out with some candle lighting, and for the whole community for making this worship happen. It does not happen in isolation, so thank you for letting me be a part of this. So I think we will move on to a candle of compassion.
So as we do every Sunday, let us light our candle of compassion. And I think we can, as we think about the areas of the world that need compassion, we can summon so many to mind right now. There is Gaza, there is Ukraine, and then we can bring the focus even closer to home. We can think about people here in our area who lack food, who lack housing, who lack shelter, who are dealing with pain and suffering and addiction. For all those people, be they our neighbors close by or our neighbors in the world, we light our candle of compassion. And then if you would join me in the words of our chalice lighting, the words you can find in your order of service, I'll start and then you can join on the second part. We gather together as a community of memory and hope to celebrate life and its infinite possibilities for love. And from you, we light this chalice as a symbol of the light within every human heart. May our individual sparks meet and merge, bringing both light and warmth to the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, UUCA. We invite you to rise
I totally
in body
missed
or spirit for our opening hymn, which is number 1054.
We'll be singing verses 1 and 2.
Now is the time of the service here known as the wisdom lesson. And here's a guy who knows what's up. So if you are young or young of heart, I invite you to come forward. Come take a seat if you'd like. I need my two girls. This is Julia and this is Eleanor. It's their first time here too. And they're going to help me illustrate something for us today. It's okay. All right, Elle, you take that side. And you walk that way. Walk away. All right, and you hold this side. All right. Now, in your orders of service, you'll see the clothesline, inspired by Reverend Howard Thurman. Is anyone here familiar with Reverend Howard Thurman? Yes. He is the inspiration for pretty much all of today's service. I was very lucky to get to study Howard Thurman all this last winter and spent a lot of time with him. And he had this image of a clothesline. Do you kids even know what a clothesline is? You do? What is a clothesline? Yeah, the laundry, but you hang your clothes up and let it dry. Exactly. So Reverend Thurman asked people, he has this book called The Creative Encounter, where he's talking about the way we can be in a meditative kind of space where we can surrender that which we don't know to the power that we don't understand. But we have to be grounded in something. And that's how he illustrates this clothesline. And the clothesline, he says, can be anything for you. It's different for each person. Which it works that it's my girls who are holding it, because what grounds me is my family. My daughters, my husband, and that grounds me. And he says on this clothesline, it could be anything. It could be, he suggests like that first organ note, which you guys have an amazing organ up there. But the first organ note of some hymn that means a lot to you. Maybe that doesn't mean a lot for you all, but maybe it might be like the feeling of holding the hand of someone you love. Do any of you like to hold hands of someone you love? I do. Maybe it's wonder when you look up at the stars at night and you wonder just how great and big the world is. Maybe that sense of wonder is what you can ground yourself with. So I'm wondering if I could get some help to put some thoughts and feelings up on this clothesline. No, you are my post, so I need you to stand strong, okay? Stand, yes. Could I ask for some help? Who would like to help me? All right, come on up here. Could you take this and clip it to the clothesline? Yep. Who else wants to help? Come on up. Come on up. You take this one and clip it to the clothesline. And what does it say? That one says thoughts. And that one says questions. That one says, can you clip it up on there? You got it? Here, we'll do it on this side. Push it. There you go. Good job. All right, let's walk down. I'll help you out. No, you stand strong. Yeah, perfect. Here, we'll do it on top. Anxiety. Thank you. You want to come help me too? Put up some doubt. All right, come on up, kiddos. Come on. Doubt. Come on, bud. Come up one more time. Up further. Okay, great. Thank you. Siblings helping each other. I assume siblings. It's a good thing. Let's hold it up, clothesline poles, so that everyone can see. Can you hold it up nice and tall? Put your joy. Oh, sorry. You want to do it too? I've got 2 left. All right. Fears and hopes. And these are just some of the things we can clip to our clothesline. Thank you. You got it? Let me help you out here, okay? Right here. You put it underneath? Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So clothesline, let's hold this up now for everyone to see. So this image, this idea is that with spiritual practice, we can ground ourselves in something and then surrender so that the wind can do its job in our laundry, in our thoughts, in our hopes, in our dreams, in our fears, in everything that we might want to mull over and spend time with in a spiritual practice. So thank you. Now is the time we will sing our children out to RE. Thank you, girls. No, leave it, leave it, leave it. Spirit of life and love, God we know by many names, and sometimes by no name at all. Thank you for being with us this morning. Thank you for bringing every single person who is in here with us here right now. May we be in communion with that which we don't necessarily understand, in a hope for the movement towards love. May we hold all of the things that we come with, everything that we have brought with us today in our hearts, knowing that everyone else has come with everything that they have brought with them today. And in that, there are fears, concerns, sorrows, griefs, joys, and celebrations. We are lucky that we get to spend this time together in community on Sunday mornings and at other times, to know that we do not have to hold anything alone, knowing that we are a community meant to hold each other. May we feel the presence of that knowledge, of that love that we intentionally cultivate. In the name of everything good and holy, amen, and blessed be.
Friends,
morning. We are a congregation that gives. We give our time, we give our talent, and we give our treasure to ourselves and to our community. And today, for today's offering, we're talking about the treasure part, and we're talking about giving it to Little Friends for Peace. For almost 30 years, Little Friends for Peace has partnered with UUCA to sponsor Peace Camp, a social, emotional learning day camp for children from ages 5 to 14. Using art, cooperative games, and the circle process, children learned mindfulness, empathy, anger management, and conflict resolution. Peace Camp provides need-based scholarships for children from Buckingham and other communities, which help support half of the camp. In addition to Peace Camp, the Little Friends for Peace runs peace-building programs across the metro area and has upcoming programs in Connections. We build a culture of peace, starting with ourselves and our family, extending out to the world. Many of you probably have children like me who went through Peace Camp, enjoyed it, and learned from it. It's a great source of support. Will the ushers please come forward to take the offering? Will the ushers please come forward? And if you would join me in blessing this offering using the words in the order of service. We bless and receive these gifts, opening our hearts to true generosity. Let us be grateful when we give, be it time, talent, or treasure. Let us be grateful for our needs. and the experience of vulnerability. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts to nurture this congregation.
This morning's reading is titled Emergence Within, and it's by Stephen Lewis, who's the president of the Forum of Theological Exploration and creator of Do Good X, a startup accelerator for diverse Christian social entrepreneurs. Emergence from below, within, a world unbeknownst to me awakened a profound awareness that lay dormant within me. Beneath the surface, emergence withdrew. Instincts invited me to pursue and plunge beneath the surface to discover a world I never knew. Home. Nature is speaking to you, a world you cannot fully comprehend. Explore what's beneath the surface in you, beyond you, deep within you. The world that inhabits you speaks to you and longs to commune with you. Another world, governed by a different set of rules, laws and circumstances, beyond, between, and among your rational world. Emergence. Do the reversal. Emerge within and stay for a while. I was told to give it a moment. I am really grateful to be with you all this morning. This is a journey that I am very proud to be on, and this is a community. Our UU Greater Faith community is a wonderful tradition, and I just think the work that we do is important. And I'm grateful for every single one of you who have shown up this morning on this President's Day weekend, and the choir. I am so blessed. I feel so blessed. Your music is wonderful. Thank you for sharing your voices this morning. So I've chosen today to discuss spiritual fortitude. And not just because Lent started on Wednesday. As an ex-Catholic, this is my stance. But spiritual fortitude is important, and it is something really important, and something that I think that we sometimes struggle with in our very rational, reason-based, spiritual, less spiritual, we're trying to get away from those words sometimes. Sometimes those words are struggles for us, but they hold deep importance. So that's why I'm choosing to talk about that today. For the struggles we face, spiritual fortitude is necessary. Spiritual strength is that which helps us to overcome. It is what forces us to look in the mirror and really take a look at ourselves. And I think most importantly, spiritual fortitude is needed for healing. And my goodness, do we need healing? Healing of our own personal traumas, which are varied and real, and healing from the systems in which we live, systems created out of fear, which only cause harm. Systems like white supremacy, a lie which has torn our American people apart for centuries. So, with the hope of healing, it benefits us to develop some spiritual strength or fortitude. And spiritual strength comes through practice. Just as we cannot expect to run a marathon without training, we cannot expect to be self-differentiated individuals in communion with nature and the people around us without some practice. Reverend Howard Thurman, the man who offered us this clothesline image during the wisdom lesson, he believed passionately in the power of what he called the creative encounter, the practice of going inward and meeting God, or the holy, or the movement towards love, and coming away transformed, little by little, a little more formed in hope that we may live a more loved and loving life. Now, Thurman's image and his practice of the creative encounter is not the only way or the only expression of spiritual practice. It is one kind of contemplative practice, but there are so many ways that we can participate. Study, for example, is one of my favorite practices and something that I think has a road of least resistance in our tradition. There's a Jewish saying that when I pray, I speak to God, but when I study, God speaks to me. There's meditation, which has been in a number of different traditions. Buddhism, the Quakers are great at it. Howard Thurman's creative encounter is very much the way I imagine meditation. There's fasting. Fasting in Lent, that goes hand in hand. And it's a wonderful spiritual practice to go inside. And it's a bodily practice. It connects you to the suffering of others who maybe feel that way not out of choice. Exercise. Exercise is a great practice. There's nothing like pushing past a breaking point when you think there is no way your legs can carry you any further. But look, they can. Pushing through perceived barriers is the work of spiritual practice. Spiritual practices are not just for centering ourselves or making ourselves feel better. They are radically simple ways to reject the dominant culture which demands we flow in the current of consumerism of both the physical and the spiritual, the body and the spirit. I know that not everybody is comfortable with words like spiritual or God or the holy, divine. A lot of this language is loaded. And we each carry meanings that might be a little bit different from each other's. And I want to hold that. And I want to let you know that when I speak of God, I see God through the lens of process theology, which is that God is the movement towards love. Literally the process of engaging, literally the hope to find a right way, to find a more loving way. I've heard it described as the smell of pancakes. Yes, my daughter's heard it a million times. The smell of pancakes. It's wonderful, gets you up, makes you move towards something with hope that there's something good at the end. That to me is what God is. And by spiritual, I mean a mind, body, heart process that connects with the self, with others, and with our world. Now, I know we don't know each other, but I did a little bit of research about this church just to see what it is that you all do here. And I see that you have Faith 360 groups and covenant groups for spiritual deepening and growth. I see on your calendar today there is a Racial Justice Task Force book discussion group. That's wonderful. You have First Light and Divine Meditation groups. You have discussion groups and music groups and art groups. This is a thriving religious community. This is the work of religious community, is the work of spiritual deepening. That's what these practices, these groups, these programs do. helps us to be in better connection with that movement towards love. That's why we come here on Sundays. That's why we participate in faith communities. I'm going to shift us right now back to Reverend Howard Thurman. For his ministry, the work he did as a faith leader and as a mystic and a prophet had a profound impact on shifting social consciousness on the firmness of truth of everyone's worthiness. Thurman was a unique religious leader of his time, a black man born at the turn of the 20th century in Florida during the Jim Crow era. From his experience, Thurman developed an inescapable understanding of God, one who is accessible and for all. Thurman's Christian faith was rooted in a firm grasp of the teachings of Jesus and his historical impact, which spoke clearly to the needs of the poor, vulnerable, marginalized, and oppressed, or those Thurman referred to as the ones with their backs against the wall. But he challenged theological norms within his own Baptist tradition and the grander Christian tradition, reasoning that a belief in Jesus as a deity is a barrier to community. This is a Christian in the early 20th century, Baptist at that, right? This was impressive. I was like, why did it take me so long to get to read Howard Thurman? But he's amazing that he did this work. And community to him and to me is the goal of the kingdom of heaven, which is a utopic promise that Jesus came and said was here. Thurman also would talk about the difference between the religion of Jesus and Christianity. Christianity being the dominant systemic religion which white people had used to enforce their dominion and power over black people for centuries. Before liberation theology had a name and many voices which spoke to it, Thurman emphasized the importance of a faith that freed us from otherness, which saw past our differences and could envision a community of self-realized people united in their understanding of each other's blessedness. In 1936, Thurman went on a pilgrimage of friendship to India. His participation there was considered important because in a country divided by religious beliefs into touchables and untouchables, rich and poor, it was thought the testimony of representatives of another country's minority group might be far-reaching. While in India, Thurman met Mohandas Gandhi. Mohandas was his name. Mahatma was his title. They both had been inspired by Henry David Thoreau. And Gandhi took Thoreau's term civil disobedience, which had over time shifted into a term called passive resistance. And Gandhi changed it to satyagraha, which is a Sanskrit or a Hindi word meaning firmness of truth or love. Which, when Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King heard this, he immediately understood it as truth or love force. Love force. And it was generally referred to throughout the civil rights movement as nonviolence. A force of truth which called for action. As Gandhi put it, without direct active expression of it, nonviolence is meaningless. One cannot passively be nonviolent. Now, Martin Luther King Jr. was a huge fan of Howard Thurman's. King carried around Thurman's book, Jesus and the Disinherited, all over the American South as he marched, negotiated, demonstrated, and resisted the powerful racist culture which was regularly and violently withholding our black siblings from the empty American promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Howard Thurman's mysticism, partnered with an exposure to the Indian people's struggle for dignity and freedom, gave way to the power which fueled the American civil rights movement of the 1960s, the power of nonviolence. Satyagraha, a firmness of truth, that we all have inherent worth and dignity. A radical idea that proclaims no person shall come to harm because we are all worthy. In his book, The Creative Encounter, An Interpretation of Religion and Social Witness, Thurman writes, "In the experience of religion, I may learn somewhat the will of God and yield my own private personal will to his, and thereby gain insight into purposes that transcend my little purposes and meanings." He goes on to say, in the surrender to God, in the religious experience, there is no loss of being, but rather an irradiation of the self that makes it alive with Godness. There is awakened the desire to be God-like. This is no casual interest in superficial goodness. It is goodness in terms of wholeness, of integration. There must be something about God that is an all-togetherness, in which all conflict is resolved, all tensions merge into a single integration. And this is the crux of Thurman's belief, that it is God's will that we humans integrate harmoniously in community, which is an especially important thought at the time when he wrote the book in 1954, which was the same year as the notable Supreme Court case Brown versus the Board of Education, which brought around the end of legal segregation in schools. And it still holds value and importance today as we face a new era of Jim Crow, in which our judicial system is a barely changed house of racial discrimination, where teaching our history is touted as a crime which will confuse and make our young white children feel guilty, where access to voting is still kept behind difficult to open gates for communities of color, especially poor communities of color. Spiritual work is important. It has the power to shape us into more loving beings, of connecting us with the movement towards love in thoughtful contemplation and surrender. This kind of creative encounter, I know, is not everybody's bag, but the good news is that we do not have to practice the same way. But we should all practice. It matters to help engage with the firmness of truth, which sees the personhood in ourselves so that we can see the personhood of others. May you find a discipline which empowers you, challenges you, comforts you, and shapes you into a more loving being. That is the hope of faith. That is what calls us to be a community of faith, to live together and to envision, imagine, and create a more just and loving world. Thurman and I both believe strongly that it is transformed people that can, will, and do transform the world. Amen and blessed be.
We invite to rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 1031 in the teal hymnal, Filled with Loving Kindness. The first verse we'll sing, May I be filled with loving kindness. The second verse, May you be filled. And third verse, May we be filled.
Now, if you would join me in the words of our chalice extinction, these are in your order of service. Together, we extinguish this chalice, but not the light and warmth it represents. These we carry with us, bringing our sparks of love to the world.
If we want to affect social change, which we say we do, we have to raise social consciousness. And that starts by raising our own consciousness. We do that through intentional practice. Thurman would often talk in terms of what would bring a person's soul alive, what moves them, inspires them, and touches them. May we each find a spiritual practice or discipline that does this for us and moves us into that beautiful vision of beloved community, where each one of us is witnessed, respected, and flourishing in our blessedness. Amen and blessed be.